Amen.
ויקרא מוישה להושע בינון יהושע. The representative from each of the 12 tribes were appointed commission to tour Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, and bring back a report. And one of them was Joshua. Before they left on their voyage, on their journey, so the Torah tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu gave a name. He changed the name to his name was originally Hosea. Vayikra Moshe Hosea Binun. He gave a name Hosea Binun, the name Yehoshua. Like Moshe Hosea Binun Yehoshua. He gave him a name Yehoshua. And Rashi says that because he portended, Moshe saw that from this the results might not be so positive, might not be so good, so he should be, and the others were, he should be saved, and he should be saved from the conspiracy of the rest of the leaders, the rest of the spies. The Medrash tells us that where he gave Moshe Rabbeinu, he gave Yehoshua a name, and from Hosea it became Yehoshua. So that means he added a yud to his name. It was a Hosea without a yud, and now he had yud, it became Yehoshua. Then it tells us, where did Moshe Rabbeinu take the name from? So the Medrash tells us that Abraham's wife, the matriarch Sarah, her name was Sarai, with a yud at the end. He took away that yud, and from Sarai, at the end of the name, they took away the yud, and they added a hey. So from Sarai became Sarah, and the Medrash tells us that the yud, the letter of the Hebrew alphabet, the yud came with a grievance, a complaint before the Almighty Rabbi Shlach. So Rabbi Shlach, is that justice? Is that right? I was a part of a name of a very righteous woman, and I had that particular honor and privilege, and now it was taken away from me. Is that so? The Bereshit told the Almighty, said, have no concerns. You're destined for even a greater honor. Until now, you are part of the name of a very righteous woman, but at the very end of the name, there'll come a day when you will be not only the part of a righteous woman, the name, but of a righteous man, and not at the end, but at the beginning. That's the Medrash.
But
there was a community that they needed more seating space, and between the very first set of seats, which we call the Mizrach, the east wall, between that set of seats and the very front of the synagogue, where the Holy Ark is the most prominent part of the synagogue, so the shul, so there was room to add rows, benches, seats. The trustees of the synagogue took it upon themselves to add a row, 2 rows, and those 1 or 2 rows, they had other members of the community that wanted to have the privilege of sitting there and paid money and bought those seats. So now those that were originally in the first row became the second and third row. So they came with a grievance to the trustees of the synagogue. They said, till now, we paid money to be sitting by the Mizrach, the very first row of seats. Now, you sat somebody in front of us, those seats belong to us. The ones that you sold them to, they'll sit in our seat, we'll sit in theirs. So the trustee said, no, I don't know if that's so. We didn't move you wherever you were sitting before, that's where you're sitting now. You continue to sit. We had right to, there was a room to put in a row of benches, we put it in. And they couldn't settle the grievance between themselves, so they went to the Rav, the Sheptiker Rav, they went to the rabbi of the community. So the rabbi of the community said, from this medrash that I mentioned now, we have there a ruling on this controversy. Because here, the Yud, which was at the end of Sarah's name, was given the honor of being at the beginning of Yehoshua's name. So they placated the Yud by placing the Yud in the beginning of Yehoshua's name. But we don't find, he says, we don't find anywhere. Now look what happened. The Hey, which had the honor till now being at the beginning of the name, now the Hey became the second letter of his name. So we don't find anywhere in the Medrash that the Hey came with a grievance that, look what you did to me. I had the honor of being the head of the name, at the beginning of the name, now I'm the second. So it must be, because being that the Hey was not moved from its place, just that they placed in front of it a Yud, a Jew. They put a Yud in front of it, so that they have a right to do. So here's the same thing, you that were sitting, that had the first row before, you're still sitting in the same seat you were sitting before. We put a Yid, we put Jews, a Yud, we put the row in front of you, so that you can't have any grievance. The importance of a name, of giving a name, cannot be taken lightly. There are those that, when it comes to giving a name, they like a fancy-sounding name. Yehonatan, Nami, they'll pick up all kind of names. At the same time, when there are grandparents and great-grandparents, that they should be remembered, and these children should be given those names. And there's from a Kabbalah, a tradition handed down from Mecheskel Shinover, when the Hasidic greats, and he said in the name of the first Belzer Rebbe, he said that giving a name for grandparents and great-grandparents is a skula. It merits that the newborn child will live a very good and long life. So it's not quite that simple. You set it aside. You don't want to. You know what it means to parents when you please the parents by giving them the pleasure of having a grandchild named after their father, their mother, their grandfather, their grandmother. So giving a name, and this is something which has always been by Klal Yisrael. I mean, by Klal Yisrael. Nowadays it's they come to the synagogue with such fancy names that you never heard of before. Who are they doing honor to? When an old Jew is learned or not learned as he is, what he possesses can be worth much more than comes along a young scholar. So some Sefer also, some Sefer leftover Kabbalah, he said the following, that an old Jew who might not be learned knows more and understands more than a young Torah scholar. So you see comes to shul, a Parshas, a plain man who might be struggling with Ivri even, or if you're not struggling with Ivri, whatever he is, he's a Jew and he's an elder Jew, he has something. He has something that the young ones don't have. In conclusion, there was the tells the Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Mordechai Katz, and he had on the staff, there were nephews of his, they were brilliant scholars. So on one Yom Kippur, he said, have a very important message for all of you. I know that you feel and you think that you possess more Torah knowledge than I do. And it gives you feel a certain privilege, a certain maybe even arrogance. But I have something that you don't have. I have zikni. I have seniority. I live. Chanani b'rakash oimer. Rotza HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'zakish es Yisrael v'zikoch kiblam Torah mitzvah shenemar al nechov es man shitkoi yag